I wonder if taking up the position of a mortal governor of a royal colony in the middle of the Caribbean sometime before the Industrial Revolution has any consequences. Alright, I've learned to split the atom, kind of begin the space program, but not before I buy an aircraft carrier to bomb my own people. Wait, we can ensure nuclear fallout? Tropico 5 is a city builder game, which is ironic because I don't like city builders and kind of hate them. Tropico 5 is a game about building up your tiny rock to the point where the leading powers of the last few centuries either want to blow you up or take over your nation, consisting of a church, library, free country houses, a corner store, colonial era fort, a dock, construction office, logistics people, free mines, presidential palace, several logging camps, 4 isolated mining camps that are about as close to Siberia as you can get, some 20 plantations to make up the entirety of my economy, the 50 slumpshes that house most of my population, and that gold mine off in the far back of Dalen still hasn't even begun construction 20 years later. Alright, but real talk. This game is actually about siphoning off public funds and sending them to an offshore Swiss bank account. Here's the manual on how you can set yours up. Remember to choose the manager that will give you some of that money, and then remember to spend on nothing other than making yourself even more powerful, despite being alive for nearly 700 years. And, as an added benefit, if you by any chance have a friend who fell at becoming an urban designer, then show him your road layout. I like to call the style the "we ain't got nothing but plantations if there's space in between, I'll place a ranch. If there's more space, I'll place on someone's house. I gotta leave space for guard towers for future revolts. If there's anything left by the beach, then place some tourist cabins there. Anything else, going straight into the core business. All will bow before El Presidente, the bringer of light and roads. No, looking up how the economy actually works is optional. Ah, city builders. I don't like them. Alright, what is our name? Well, clearly we're the Nigio Gmail playthrough dynasty. I didn't think I'd get very far with these people. And we are loyal servants of the British Crown. I do love the British that make fun of my island's progress, demand to make money for their wars, and to place an additional tax for every single building I have. In fact, I love my country so much that the first thing I did was buy my trade license from their enemies and export my produce to smugglers and pirates. Then later, when asked for a donation to make the king happy, I shall instead not pay it, get the king angry, and pay the same tax to make the king happy. Alright, first order of business in the New World. Build plantations. Yes, that's their actual name. This will be most of our economy, so get used to it. Measure the soil for each of our agricultural produce. Place it in a formation. Build roads. Beforehand, send out guards to find the mines. And then when they take a straight line back to the palace, they discover as much of the island as possible. Move a road out there. Remember you forgot to build a library to research shovels to mine. Place a log camp for now, since by the end it will make you like 20 bucks. Don't worry, mass unemployment isn't a thing. Besides, the people can't rebel at this stage because we got this carnivorous forest gym to deal with. So first stage, the colonial era. We are somebody who came to become a governor of this magnificent island. Or this one. Actually both, but never at the same time. Yeah, I don't know either. Except one's like 3 centuries later. Whatever. We need to do an odd job here and there for the king who needs to build an underwater palace, and for this he needs us to produce sugar for it. Because we don't know how to mine stone. Actually, I'm still impressed we know how to sail. Plus 1 to the monarchy. Just don't tell it to my revolutionary advisor who wants Tropico to be free because... And I want to play without a mandate and instead use the king's fair to send money to Switzerland. To advance further, we have specific missions from the king's advisor to further the motherland's goals with our corn and manure. As rewards, we get mandate extensions, cash by which we put in the hands of Swiss mercenaries. We also have the revolutionaries who wish for independence. And their mission's main purpose is to import more revolutionaries to raise the populace's support so we can declare independence. But before then, we must be self-sufficient. And we're not starving just yet, and our people are perfectly content with feeding themselves by stealing from the plantations. Food? Check. Energy doesn't exist yet? Energy? Check. We don't need construction materials. Construction materials? Check. Colonial era firearms that also include Molotovs? Weapons? Check. Alright, while we're waiting for the support to rise up, we can boost it up by upping our people's happiness. They want houses, entertainment, and work. Work is simple enough. Housing and entertainment is going to be a bit rough because we don't have the needed finances to create a neighborhood just yet, but we can certainly try. But for this, we're going to need to export a whole lot of pineapples. Alright, that's it. Where's my beautiful low-resolution daughter? You're being put in charge to increase the building's output. Why only her and not the other ones? Well, because all of us have led extremely boring lives, should be told. Whereas my beautiful daughter has... hang on. Started World War I, gone to Harvard, participated in won the Battle of Passchendaele and Amiens, almost had her head explode from knowledge, created art, tested our infinite time machine, got stuck in space-time, but then we went back in time and saved her. Then we sent her brother into the machine instead and he also got stuck. But then we went back in time and then back in time to a different reality, so he was okay. Then she fought the dreaded pirate Black Soul Patch, who turned out to be a teenager, created Manifest Destiny, talked to the Pirate King, different one, we're even building an opera in his name. Is it really a choice when the other kids fight over which milk is better? And one that was called Balduino, for Christ's sakes. I don't care how many doomsday devices you make, your name is Balduino. And while here, for those wondering how a white man can't have a black son with no confirmed spouse. Okay, let's build a dock to become friends with the pirates. Edicts? It doesn't matter right now, but because I was asked so politely, every Tropican is now allowed to walk around with a pitchfork. But tech? That's the real stuff. Now what kind of science is based on our tiny rock out? Well, it almost doesn't exist. Almost. Because back there in our presidential rooms, we got a janitor, my bedroom, and my secretary.
Hello there.
Ignore him. But we also got the second finest Tropican to ever exist. Now, the ancient Wikipedia texts speak of a time when the poor Tropicans were but chattel to the crown with no way to get out of this miserable existence. And it was in these dark times that the gods themselves intervened, and with a thunderstorm so powerful that it created lightning. The gods sent down their own ambassador to lead our island to prominence.
I sat with 3 other members of the research team. Suddenly, it dawned on us. We're 4 men. You get it? 4 men? Incidentally, we also discovered bad puns.
I love you, Penultimo. Our first and foremost mission is to make money to line up our pockets. Build an army larger than that of the US to protect our people from the invaders, so we should take our dear El Presidente and his Penultimo body pillows. And how does Penultimo aid us in our heroic missions? I'll check out these first 3 researchers that Penultimo recovered up in the presidential palace's basement. The ancient ruins tell of a tale where Penultimo had invented the shovel, then he invented it 40 more times. And that is how Tropians learned how to mine. Another tale speaks of when the people were faced with a centuries-long famine that was caused by the player not understanding that there is a hunger mechanic in this game. And thus Penultimo again intervened and smited the earth with such power that every Tropian was granted a capricin and a banana, for he had invented the sickle by finding it in a box. And that's how the Tropians learned improved agricultural techniques. And the final tale speaks of the great rivalry between Tropico and its competitor islands of I don't remember and I don't care. In A Show His Mercy, Penultimo wrote a great story about how El Presidente would ride down on top of a white horse and kill anyone who stood in his way, then drink the blood of their children and slay their women and some other gay stuff. But the spawns of Satan instead stole the peace offerings, instead of destroying it, posted it somewhere, and now every Tropican wants to be a slightly homosexual rancher, and with it we've improved our ranch output. Don't ask. Alright, we're almost 50%, but our mana is running low. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And the revolutionaries demand that I insult the king, and as we all know, there's only one proper way to insult a monarch. We're gonna bang his wife, and there is only one Tropican who I trust to successfully seduce the Queen of the British Empire.
Oh, I am the very model of a modern Major General.
And it's with these combined powers of corn, sugar, bananas, several dead animal carcasses, whatever STDs can be found in the air around our urban estates, the one actually educated foreigner who we somehow convinced to come here, Penultimo's intellect, our superior army, which has been tested in battle after we called the pirates uglier than pigs, my daughter's rap sheet, my son's lactose bickering, and El Presidente's Swiss bank account, that we hit the button and declare our independence. Now comes a difficult time for Tropico. Do we A, pay 20 grand and are left alone, or B, pay way more than 20k for an army and fortifications? By the way, the fort will be dismantled at some point, although it is really dope. Also, in the ensuing invasion, at least one tower will probably destroy, so that's an extra K to repair it. But we shall attain our independence in a more glorious fashion. And if there's one thing Tropico has, then it's a leader walking around in a cosmonaut suit. Bring on, Oaks. Stupid.
Fight for your freedom from the oppressive British. Use the slums as cover.
That was the most underwhelming colonial era fight I've ever seen. By the way, did I mention we did this only because we're working for the Illuminati now?
My fellow Tropicans.
Alright, we're going out to the other island being said back to start.
At last, some recognition. I've always wanted to be part of a secret fraternity bent on world domination.
Hello, Oxford. Long time no see, pal. Maybe that Dutch trading license. You smell that, boys? It smells like industrial smog. You know what that means? Time to over to a completely new barren rock back on a royal mandate with the same advisor, same presidency, same penultimo. Also, we need to write a constitution. Thank you all valiant soldiers who gave our people freedom. On the other island. Anyways, you're all out of a job because we don't provide an education, you require an education. Also, only the rich can vote. Anyways, we need to convince the US president, who is not a crook, to visit this place so that we can become friends for some reason. Alright, the Illuminati. Plantation and cattle ranches by the palace it is. But first things first, library. I don't need to mess up my triangulation and miss this patch of fog right here. I struggle to understand how the desert has much better suited to growing corn and sugar than the one with visible agricultural fertility. Remember to leave gas for future houses. Alright, there's no better way to attract American over to the Caribbean than by selling a lot of bananas. See, it works every time. Penultimo, I need your way to a man's heart for House Road Volume 2. Yep. Okay. Got it. Alright. It's been a gamble for so long that the US president remained on this rock for like 3 years. First gamble, export even more bananas. Oh, the ground just instituted tax for every building I have. Isn't that nice? Thanks for sending me money. Oh boy, looks like our only educated child's gonna get an education again. Just don't drive a car on top of a roof naked again. Cause oh god, if the people find out. Oh yeah, right, US president. I export the only thing I can export. Instead of a constitution, I'll take a falsification of state documents to ensure they get an extremely lucrative trade deal for... A thing I barely have and a thing I barely have. Okay, that sounds fair. What's this? A treasure map? Oh no, it's just ore veins. You suck. Oh boy, early game Tropico. I wonder how my kids are doing in Harvard. Oh, not you. I said my daughter, who's off studying her ass, probably.
Great giant tropical spiders, Presidente. We have a crisis, and we have to act fast.
Oh boy, I know where this is going. Alright, I can either dull my debt, or I can publish it in the news for my illiterate population that doesn't know what the news is. And the crown won't like it, but my crown support will. Man, better than blowing 5k. Anyways, buy the debt because I need to discover this coastline of the other explored coastline so that I can build some cattle.
Just discovered the number of times you need to get hit by a plank to actually discover something.
Alright, come on, we're so close. Just get there before I get another pop about naked vandalism from Harvard.
Your family's rather rollicking love life has led to an unexpected.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Balduino, this is your first and only chance of making me a proud father. Rest in peace, Balduino. You could survive being lost into space and continue, but you couldn't win a duel. You will not be missed. Hey, my kid's back from Harvard. Using her knowledge and Penultima's discovery of the sickle, we're going to automate our plantation before we enter the train. Speaking of trains, this poor wheel is in the way of the road to my llamas. Hey, U.S. President, I achieved the achievement of doing one of the only things I'm physically capable of doing. As a return, I think it's only fair you give me half the U.S. Army.
You don't really need half the U.S. Army, pal. It actually consists of 37 volunteers at this point. That's all there is.
Oh, well, he also exported a bunch of llamas, so I guess give me entire opera house for it. Aww, he called me his friend. Anywho, time to get off of this sinking rock ship because the crown doubled the property tax again. I wonder what interesting and city builders things the world has in store for us.
My fellow Tropicans, today a new enemy rises to threaten my way of life, my freedom, and my strategic banana reserves.
Oh god, I did not see this one coming. I probably should have deployed most of my military after independence. Ooh, okay, we survived. We have several years to prepare. Which actually way too much, but whatever. Okay, man in Penultimo, a new enemy has appeared. The neighboring island of I don't care. Or was it I don't remember? Anyways, first things first. We gotta exploit the allies for money. Second of all, welcome to the industrial age. We got atomic power in the incorrect Germany in 1914. Oh come on, what if we just turn it like... There we go. Alright, we got a high school now. What about a college? Yeah, no, this thing ain't gonna fit in here. What about in between the plantations? What the coast where they'll be invaded and susceptible to tsunamis? Ah, perfect. Here's some free and developed land out by the coal mine. And because I'm so gracious, I even built an observatory on a map where there is no elevation and we are but one global warming away from being underwater. Penultimo, you're a genius. I never realized that things that worked. You heard the man, it's time to actually talk to the outside world and maybe figure out what the whole 1914 thing is all about. Ah yes, you will not buy my wool unless we're friends. Instead I will accept your wool for a lower price. I hate diplomacy. Oh, you're right, managers. I almost forgot about these. Actually, I forget about these most of the time. Wait, what's this? The US is currently in a big sad. Don't worry, Mr. President, who is not a crook. You know what always makes me happy? Bananas. Oh, I'm loving this music.
President,
Wait, what?
Tropicans await elections next year.
Oh, no. I actually have to satisfy their needs for housing, entertainment, access to food, religion, healthcare, and oh my god, I hate this game. Who knew the Nikio Gmail playthrough dynasty was so bad at being dictatorship that they actually need to hold genuine elections? Good thing there's all these gaps for more housing. Come on, I know I can squeeze in at least one more place. Come on, just one house in front of your door. Yes! Oh, sweet banana G's, can this day get any worse?
Presidente, I hereby with to require you on the habeas cojones to execute a writ with an ovation decreeing a perez to one penultimo, hereby referred to as the penultimate party. Should you fail to comply, you shall thereby to be denounced as a tortfeasor, and the tropical people shall be taught the language of legalese.
Please take and remain. I'll give them early retirement just because I've never seen more than 2 pensioners because of the starvation that goes on like game and easy immigration. Anywho, new police station. Just remember that the concept dictates that you must make people vote for me.
Shout out to the Tropico police who just got a new home. Officer Mendez, you know you can strip search me anytime. Also, you forgot your handcuffs. I kept them as a little memento. And if you need them, I could take your hat instead.
Oh yeah, that lady. Yeah, she owns the... I bought Nick S3-4 Black Flag a month and a half ago and still hasn't played it. In fact, he has since played through 2 games, at least one of which he bought afterwards, and that's top it all. He went on a Sunday trip to really play my gift even more, despite him damn well knowing my last 2 gets English Transformers views on those genres. That reminds me of our 19th birthdays when he went on a trip so that he could skip my birthday and didn't know, so I wouldn't get to go to his birthday as well. Strange name, I know. But yeah, she's interesting. Oh god, I forgot how painful it is to build on the shoreline. Build an army base, get a new dynasty member. What? All of the others were births. Nah, screw it, can't be any worse than Balduino.
General Penultimo has hatched yet another plot to delay our enemies. His keen military intelligence has determined that we should get all of them drunk.
Great idea, Penultimo. This will be the start of our glorious industrial area that is especially close to our urban area. Oh, so we just turned the big sad into the Great Depression. I'm sorry, Mr. President, who's not a crook. But you know what makes me happy? Penultimo's research. Check it out. He broke into a tank museum, found a fully functional tank, became the most powerful man in Europe for a time, ran out of gas, brought the tank back to the 13th dimension, and that's when we unlocked tanks. Or how about the compass? Yeah, that's what it was on my shelf the entire time. Okay, but on a serious note. Since my exporting crashed your market, clearly the answer is for me to export even more to your market. This llama ranch has no access to a road. What the hell is that pathway I just built for you? And the textile mill isn't getting something. Yeah, get ready to be hearing about this all the time. Don't mind me, just fighting off a German invasion in 1920. Yes, we may have coal and infantry fighting tanks with muskets, so what? Shooting those Vartars of the machine gun upgrade? Quick, send in the lumberjacks to fight the tank. Hey, the lumberjacks defeated the invasion, say Tropico. Now then, back to the invasion. Emperor Hoxha, I don't know. Can't have the density in the world. Couldn't even read half of that. Oh no! The Great War! In 1921? Oh, we must be prepared. We're building barracks. I'm sorry, Colonial era musketeers from 3 centuries ago, but you can't beat a tank, and also you take up a lot of goddamn space. Although your building is really cool. Oh look, at the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Come on, daughter, you did this once, you can do it again. Go make daddy proud. Alright, I need to send a delegation to the Allies to get my daughter into service so she can kill Franz Ferdinand and start World War I again. And for a delegation to be accepted, we need to build an army base for the war effort in Europe. I think we're getting mixed signals. Anyways, more space for country houses and one less Austrian to deal with.
They are clinically proven to be beneficial for your lungs, vocal cords, nasal cavities, and pituitary glands. A Tropican cigar is guaranteed to make you look manlier, even if you are a woman.
So I can either sell a coal for $200 or pineapples for $700. Wait, what's that, US President? More trade didn't solve it? You think the problem is fear? Don't worry. I will send you the most well-educated Tropican who has started World War I twice, participated in at least 2 battles and said World War I, and traveled through time twice. Actually, I'm gonna send Penultimo instead. Congratulations, Penultimo. The American public no longer fears fear. They fear you instead. Plus 10 allied relations. Oh god, the Germans are back. You know, guys, you're currently hurting my ranking in the polls. Could you, like, come back after the election, please? Anywho, allies want ally. All I have to do for them to accept is defeat another German invasion. Alright, the volcano. So when do you want me to tell you that we don't have a fire department? There's still Germans walking around on the island, by the way. Oh god, please, could there be some good news today?
President, we have made a major breakthrough. Oh, shiny. Anyway, we have deducted debts. Oh, shiny.
So the French are currently facing off against the German occupiers and they need our help. To help, we simply need to have soldiers and not do anything with them. Okay, free money, I guess.
The resistance and the French nation are in our debt.
You need carrier pigeons, okay? Okay, so it turns out cows, goats, llamas, and pigs don't make great carrier pigeons. But hey, I still got my money, so I can complain. Finally, I'm bored. Can we just get this over, please, before the Espinosa take the peace over in Europe? Even though the war's been over for like 4 to 6 years, I don't even know anymore. Oh well, I've still got this money. I guess I can build a new urban area while I'm being invaded. Hey, we won. I don't care. Next mission.
A new superweapon must be created. One so destructive that the threat of its near existence will put an end to all war.
Rafael Trujillo, President of the Dominican Republic, campaigns to win a Nobel Prize in Literature for his literary wife that honor her as a writer and philosopher. Anyway, it's so expensive to rescue him from Switzerland that we're just going to buy Switzerland instead. Alright, I hear you, Tropicans. I will give you the homeless ass of the high school without a road connection. You can thank me later by voting for me. Oh, hang on, there's a path of fertility here. Maybe if I just turn this thing around a little bit. And there we go. Beautiful as something beautiful. Alright, now then. Where can I place a college in LA which would be most inconvenient in the name of space conservation? Look, I'll even give you an observation in the back in between the building and the mountain. No, you don't get an elevation on either island in the campaign. Yes, the zero does work better with elevation. Why do you ask? Alright, good news. After Bank of the State again, I can now confirm that we were 1/100 of the way to the goal. Blah blah, British generals using Swiss watches. If missing times and bad stuff, you get 5k, sold. What? A Great War in 1916? Don't be ridiculous, Penultimo. Alright, now we're talking, Mr. Illuminati. We're going to make money by buying lottery tickets to win money for the other bank account instead of putting money into that second bank account. Fun fact, there are 2 Illuminatis in this world. Fun fact number 2, Franz Ferdinand is going to die. But first we have to get into Serbia. Oh, allies, I need to assassinate the Archduke of Austria. Yeah, maybe building a shiny new embassy with a coal mine just for you. And you know what? Just for you, I will sell you, and only you, my finest pineapples. At a 20% markup. Man, isn't this island beautiful?
Presidente, my career as a weatherman is over. I promised everyone a warm and sunny day. And now we have a tornado on the island.
Well, it's abiding by the rules of traffic. No, it's going off the road to our plantation. Don't please do this right. That's my favorite caprice of plantation. Alright, let's play down a nice straight road. Beautiful. Anyone want to come over and put in the last nail in the dry dock? I haven't done the industrial sector that still has been complete 4 years later. That's also cool, man. I got time.
Great giant tropical spiders.
Quit telling me we were not in debt, but fine, I'll buy some tanks. Then we can...
I am so furious.
Alright, so it's free dudes from the homeless shit, and they want to burn down the mine I finally built out for 4 years. And now they will go back home. And I don't get to export any of the minerals. I'll see you in 4 years, buddy. We can now build banks which will generate us money so long as we have a positive treasury. Never mind what I just said. Hey, after how long? We're finally building houses. Soon enough my people will start to like me.
I am so...
Alright, they're gonna burn down a farm and the same mine I rebuilt. Hey, we defeated the rebels! Never mind. You want me to support communism by exporting food? Well, I got bad news for you, Chief. We don't have electricity and we won't for a long ass time. Hey, people of Tropico, if we build you all the entertainment and other necessities by your future houses, will you finally be happy?
I'm so furious.
Nope, they'll instead burn down my industry, which will cost 2/3 of my treasure to replace. At least it can't get any worse. Alright, here we go. Election time. Okay, now I'm being invaded by the Germans while my armies on the other side of the island still trying to reach the rebels.
That's one huge wave, Presidente, and it's coming straight for us.
Okay, here's a tsunami. Took out none of the enemy, but it did take out my people and buildings. Now we're still chasing the rebels on the other side. Okay, those guys down there are still burning down stuff, but now my army decides to go back and deal with the invasion. Okay, my army's about to go fight the invaders. Okay, they're letting that one go. Okay, now they're running from him. Okay, now the thing just pulled a zigzag of lights and they're going to fight the invasion. Okay, all my defenses have been destroyed and the guys with the assault rifles destroyed all my tanks. And okay, that's who they're left against the 4 and then they will destroy my pass and I will lose the game. Okay, yeah, that seems great. Okay, now we're back 5 years ago, but that's how often the autosaves are, and now we have to deal with all of that again. Okay, I got a plan. So we're going to build a plantation. Afterwards, I'm going to open an OnlyFans, and boom, all our financial goals have been solved. And look at how quickly you're building this when you're so flush with cash. Look people, you can get free times back here by the nose of the opera. There's no clear way of getting to them. Rejoice! See these curvy roads that all the urban designers laughed at me about? Well, I tried to nearly 200 people to come to my island. Who's laughing now? Look, I'm even so popular that my popularity rises as the homeless people get up to burn down my buildings. Social security, basic education, mortgage subsidies. Look at that, 81 people crammed onto a boat just to come and live in my utopia. Build the cannery. Sorry, that means getting electricity. Hey people of Tropico, you want more food options? Here's some plantation. You can grow some corn out by the oil vein. Oh, we got enough money to buy Switzerland. Now I'm actually kind of sad.
The threat of nuclear annihilation has brought fear, suspicion, and paranoia.
Wait, what? Someone tried to assassinate Mr. Illuminati? And even worse, I forgot about my remaining 65 million over on the other island? Don't worry, Mr. Illuminati. I will secure your lookalike from foolish tourists, but first need to build a supermax prison. Okay, so me and the US were allies, but they don't trust me enough to sell them fish or cocoa, and the Russians only want alcohol. I swear, when I find the bastard designing these coastal-only buildings, boy, there will be some 56 degrees Celsius hell to pay.
We've discovered the mineral oil, which can be processed into gasoline. The cars in Tropico no longer need to run on magic. Our profits are guaranteed until someone starts selling oil cheaper than us. Then we should bomb and invade them.
Well, now that we have oil and thus natural gas, I guess we can afford to finally give electricity to my people. Well, thanks for the 9,000 Soviets. If only we were actually friends, but still, thanks. I should probably start getting tours before my mentor gets assassinated. Anyhow, increased breach colonial era building nearby. Well, we have this lovely ancient ruin you're going on the beach. Here's 2 more buildings next to you. I hope you're not claustrophobic. Well, I'm dead again. Well, let's place cabins instead. JK, those little huts cost 5,000 each. Oh boy, elections. Well, this can only end well. And the urban area is still under construction. Start to regret about not forfeiting this election. Also, I'm starting to think I need to look up an actual economic guide about these games, because today ain't looking good.
We tried to discover democracy, but it proved extremely difficult. Building a true democracy is like chasing a unicorn. Everybody has heard of them, but no one has ever seen one. We captured a whole herd of unicorns, but not a glimpse of democracy anywhere to be found.
Oaksworth, not gonna lie, Chief. Free waste treatment plants? Yeah, finances have never looked worse, buddy. Finally, we have money. We're gonna throw it all into a chair factory and hope that it saves our economy. Oh my god. Maybe I should look up a guide for the next election, because I will not have the money to increase their happiness.
Deals that are for like 14,000 for like 100 barrels of oil, which
What?
like kickstarts your economy, right?
An airport. We've been in the red for years. Do we even have airplanes?
Presidente, we discovered flight. It's just like falling, but backwards. I can't believe no one thought of it before.
Okay, fine, I guess we can build the airport once we have enough money. Mr. Illuminati's dead. Also, they're going to take a quarter of my money every year. Yeah, well, guess what, Missy?
And stuff like pineapple, like milk, like rum, like sugar, like oil, these stuffs at the beginning you always have.
Anywho, we need a torch to take the blame for all of this.
It's official. Results from the feel-good poll clearly show that Presidente is the most popular name given to newborns, for both boys and girls.
Tourists, I'll be nice and let this be the one national park that isn't half underwater. Alright, this island doesn't have education. I'll place it by the airport and the casinos. And my daughter's head is about to explode unless let 30 people immigrate to the island. Alright, I forgot about that. Anyway, let's play the good old game of what's the next mission. I think it was something to do with radio and television. What about you?
The arms race between the US and the USSR has put us on a dangerous path. It would take only the tiniest spark to burn us all. To balance the threat, I must make sure that everyone knows there is no end game.
Alright, we have to make a nuclear weapon in 24 months. I am more than double that just to research it, and then I still gotta build it. We are so screwed. Guess I'll build housing then. You think they care about the oil well next to the corn? Man, here's a road. Oh, but I guess we're simply screwed. First step, sell oil. Now I'll give us 24 months.
And while I can't say that these new apartments the government built for us are all that bad, well, let's just say that
Presidente, we discovered flight.
Call me when you discovered the atom.
Presidente, I was doing some experiments with the products of neutron-bombarded uranium and made some astounding discoveries. Just kidding. I was actually washing my socks and thus discovered that nuclear power exists and can be harnessed. Ha! Just kidding. I never wash my socks.
You know, while we wait to create the nuclear bomb, perhaps we could start with the whole tourism thing. I don't understand why people say we're a dictatorship just because we've been ruling for 7 centuries and our indoctrinated military sees most of the country's budget. Come on, Penultimate, tell them how great, free, and democratic our democracy is.
Presidente, we have done nothing productive since our last research project. We almost started a war and we killed the llama. See, it works. If you do something bad, tell everybody about it and then say that you killed the llama. Everyone just asks why you killed the llama. Now we can do all sorts of bad things with no consequences.
Oh, look, it's Weisstein. It's the guy I got from buying Switzerland. And he's got something about space-time. I don't care. Anyways, we just lobotomized someone and discovered that the galaxy is a thing, and thus we've unlocked rockets. I see absolutely no way how this could go terribly, seeing as how I am barely competent enough to run an economy, let alone a space program. You know, it kinda sucks that this whole World War III thing is about to start because of some dumbass in Washington, D.C. Like, you really expect me to hit up my old homeboy and just...
Howdy, Presidente. I was wondering whether you were about to call me or defeat the U.S. Army all by yourself.
Thanks, U.S. President. In the meantime, I'm gonna go colonize the moon.
Presidente, if you receive this automated message, then the worst has happened. American liberty is at risk.
Oh, thank God. If it wouldn't have been for 12 consecutive boss battles in the White House, then we would have been screwed. Anyways, I guess that's enough. I keep building more stuff, my people will get angrier and angrier. And then a tsunami tried to kill me. I guess we're finishing this nuke after all.
It is a time of social turmoil, a time of rising concerns about pollution, fossil fuels, and nuclear power.
Oh, Mr. Illuminati, faith is death. We're heading to an energy crisis. Don't worry, Mr. Illuminati. I'll get you the uranium you need since green energy has been invented yet. First order of business. Writing more Constitution into the Constitution. It'll only take us 63 months.
modern times have finally arrived in Tropico. Boy, have I been waiting.
Also, we have subsidized public transport. Funny because we barely have any parking lots, but whatever. Also, we're going to send microorganisms on you so we can develop our new constitution faster. Here, try a banana grown from a llama. Secret police, cancer vaccine for $5,000, police are nice, more tourist traps, establish world peace and recycle. Mortgages, education, pensions, research theft, agricultural subsidies and free meals, and a tax cut for the rich. Throw in a census and a money laundering scheme. Also, we're now going to be making jewelry and cars and chocolate.
An old boyfriend of mine once said to me, "Baby, you can drive my car." And so I did. Truth be told, I haven't heard from him since. Pablo, I'm sorry I overreacted, and I hope you made it back to town. If you still want a car, you can now buy a nicer one, made in Tropico.
By the way, this deformed phallic thing is an office. Don't ask. Why is no one working the car factory? You can barely even hear the nuclear rockets that's going on outside. I'm sorry, what are you saying? Something I couldn't hear you all over the... 1980, okay, could destroy more... Okay. I don't know if I told you, but we also have a cannery next to the furniture factory and the pharmaceutical factory. Ah yes, half my people are unemployed and I have mass worker shortages all throughout the island. My favorite part of Tropico. Wait, what do you mean? We're stockpiling uranium for energy needs, not to make an atomic bomb. Ain't that right, Mr. Illuminati?
My fellow human beings, on my command, multiple nuclear devices are at this moment being deployed throughout the world. The end of the world as we know it is inevitable. And this is a good thing. Why? Look around and ask yourselves why. 3 billion people live in poverty. More than 2 billion are without a toilet. And what is the world's most popular topic? Images of cats. The cure I offer is destruction. Like the mythical phoenix, a better world shall rise from the ashes. Prepare yourselves.
Well,
for day 0.
Shit. Well, Penultimo, I guess this is a... You know, we had some fun times, some bad times, some tsunamis, some tornadoes, some radiation and nuclear threats, but I guess it wasn't enough. So, you have any big dreams you wish to accomplish while you were alive? I am you from the future. Be dead! Well, that was weird. Well, I guess this is to be our end then. Well, at the very least, let's go over some memories, shall we? Now then, here we are. Here we were when we developed our first nuclear rockets to stop World War III. We made an innocent tourist take the blame for a murder. You killed a llama. We threw Nick in the trash. Remember that time, Nick? When we first got electricity. Remember when my daughter started World War I and I bought Switzerland? Remember when I built a landfill out of that slum? Remember when I left Nicky out there? Oh wait, you remember when our eternal friendship with the US started after I caused the Great Depression with bananas? And how back when we were a British colony, you went and seduced the king's wife and I bought my trade lines with the Dutch instead? Ah, look at us. So... exactly the same age and full of vigor. How time flies, huh? It is a shame that we can't do anything about this.
The world is about to end, but we can still save it. Just not this time around. The answer is quite simple, actually. We must travel back in time.
We have but one chance. Abraham Weissstein and his crazy time-traveling demon.
Quick, someone pass me the money I've been saying to our Nick's mom out on a date with. Quick, build these 4 metro stations if the fate of the entire world rests on them. We're gonna need a lot of research. Like, a lot of research. Like, oh my god, we're gonna develop the cure for cancer by recreating the Big Bang in a controlled, simulated environment that's actually a once-in-a replica of the universe before the Big Bang. Amount of research. Alright, but now what we're gonna do today. We have the cement and rebar of the entire planet. Oh god, and these things are bought by electronics factories as well. God damn it. I never thought I'd be saving the world by funding a bunch of nerds. What about a bunch of nerds that are going to develop time machines to go back in time and stop the Illuminati? Yeah, I guess we can fudge the books and try to keep the world oblivious to why a tiny right now is about to become the world's total science. Get to building, goddammit! If you don't finish all these time slides before lunch, I swear I will make you eat your kitchen. Alright, now just to import 236 of the world's leading scientists. Oh god, my fingers. God, please, I haven't even begun saving the world. Wait, I just realized, how are we going to get the scientists here?
As you know, Presidente, we've been trying to improve flight conditions on the airplanes bringing tourists to Tropico. By keeping the livestock out of the crew compartments, requesting personal hygiene from the flight attendants, and placing seats in the planes, we managed to double flight enjoyment.
You're a genius, Penultimo. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to welcome you all to Tropico's state-of-the-art, the formation of science. It's got like 300 edges, okay? Euclid's having a hard second having right now. Here we have the brightest minds of the entire world working on such important world-saving sciences as healthology, timology, distantology, economology, time travelology, and of course, power consumption reductionology, because all of these science labs require something like, oh, I don't know, 100 times more electricity than we can produce. Right on cue. Now if you'll excuse me. I don't care if you're state mandated lunch break. You get back on that goddamn construction floor and you build me 40 nuclear power plants all by yourself, or I swear to Penultimo, the fear of the Americans, that the pain from the thing I do to your ass will be felt by entire bloodline for all of eternity. Get rid of uranium. God, I just built a rocket station without much use anyways.
Herr Presidente, we have a working prototype of our time machine. Do we have a volunteer? A member of your dynasty, perhaps?
Alright, I'm sorry, my daughter, but if you survive World War I, I'm sure you can... Nah, I'm just kidding here, taking it, he likes sci-fi stuff.
Idiots! Herr Presidente, there seems to have been a slight miscalculation in our experiment. I fear that your dynasty member has been irrevocably lost.
Well, at least it wasn't anyone informed. I just remembered I forgot to upgrade these things! Well, while the radio lady keeps her a little busy with the new football player, I guess I can finally kick back and wait this whole time trial thing to be done.
You seem to be very popular in the Middle East, old boy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add context for that. Oh, there's a tornado. Well, that's not enough to stop us.
I am so furious. I cannot believe what just happened.
Okay, this is a little bit more serious. They got over half the army as well! Boy, we don't got much time to turn around and head for us. Oh, this day couldn't get any worse.
I'm detecting ballistic missiles on a trajectory for this island, Herr Presidente. Schnell! Schnell! To the time machine!
Boy, there's no way that's... Never mind.
I come from the future!
Alright, listen up, ladies and gentlemen of my rival islands of I don't care and I don't remember. I'm your enemy from the future and I will come back to warn you of the Illuminati. In about 2 centuries' time, they will develop a nuclear weapon. What's a nuke? And destroy the world. That is why I've gathered myself, Penultimo, the terror of the Americans, a time travel, and of course my moral support, Nick. Alright, man, I've prepared a plan of super awesomeness on how to defeat the Illuminati. But first, We need to secure our base of operations. Alright, declare independence. Also, give me the next mission on rescuing the heir of the country which we declared our independence from. Okay, so now you want 4 times the starting gold and I'm already independent. Why don't we just send in the army?
After suffering 1,000 paper cuts, we have invented paper.
Okay, I guess you have a point.
It turns out that the dread pirate Roberts is none other than our...
Wait. Let me guess. It's my secret twin who was split apart from at birth. And that's how I became an alcoholic. Well, crap. If financial power won't save the world, then I guess we just have to do the next best thing. Alright, gentlemen, since apparently money didn't solve our problems twice, I say we try a new tactic to stopping the Illuminati. We're gonna bomb them. Okay, so good news, bad news. Good news, our 100% soldier strong army is far more formidable than we thought. The bad news is the Illuminati swapped our invasion plans and we just conquered Poland. Alright lads, plan B. Since violence didn't work, we're gonna have to assassinate him instead. Well obviously we're gonna take down Mr. Illuminati by smuggling naked pictures of you penultimo, how else? Yo, what's up? I'm you from the future. How much in the future? Somewhere in between 5 minutes and 2 days depending on how you look at it. Cool. Yeah, it is. Anyways, you forgot to hit record and make a save at the start of the mission, so here's the rundown. You killed Mr. Illuminati, so his secretary took over. Damn, I'd rather have her than Nick. Yeah, me too. Except she's also annoying, although not as much. Anyways, the point is, she took over the USSR somehow, so you sold a bunch of oils where the USSR collapsed. How? Yeah, I still don't understand that. Anyways, that whatever lady got away with 1 nuclear ICBM. So where's that now? Well, now you only have 1 island to worry about. Wait, why can't I just invade the other 2 islands? What do you do about this? Bastard. Well, lads, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't know what to do. Somewhere out there is a global terrorist organization with access to nuclear bombs, that's all we got. Currently, we're the only ones who knows about them somehow, so we're kind of alone in this fight. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking about giving in. I mean, the Illuminati did have some good points, I just didn't like the whole hard reset thing. Well, I guess there was one more thing I can hold on, give me a minute. The Illuminati was arrested. We won. Roll the credits. Boy, this was frankly a okay experience, although I didn't like how difficult it kind of became during the Cold War. So I literally can't play so I cheat. I give it like that one guy in the main menu doing a Gmod didn't have a Tropican llama. I don't know what to say more. I'm kind of done with this game. Both metaphorically and literally, there's nothing more to do. We reached the end game. There's no dynamic dungeon or monsters fun and don't like city builders, so I'm not going to keep playing for the sake of the game or the achievements. It's a shame. I had a lot of fun to start back in the colonial days. Sigh. If only we had a time machine. I wonder if there's any consequences.